Now let's make this practical. So you've done your spotting pass and you're about to create a sound cue sheet. Now, as the last video said, you should have a timed list. What's happening and when is it happening? Is it from 1 second to 2 seconds or from 9 seconds to 10 seconds? Now, once you have that timed list, you go over to ChatGPT and prompt it to generate a sound cue sheet. As you can see on the screen, I have prompted ChatGPT to act like a supervising sound editor. When we prompt a model, an AI, to take on a personality, we are basically pushing the model to respond at an expert level rather than a beginner level. And sometimes we specify years of experience. We could say a supervising sound editor with 25 years experience. This way, the model is more likely to use professional workflows, think like a professional, and use professional best practices. The other thing you notice on this prompt is that I have asked ChatGPT to break the cue sheet into the 4 sound layers: bed, foley, design emotion, and punctuation. And I've gone ahead and pasted the timed sheet. Now, this is a scanty time sheet. You need a more detailed time sheet that tells exactly what is happening in the scene. This is especially important when you're using a separate tool to generate your sound cue sheet, a tool you didn't use to generate the images. As you know, we've used ChatGPT to generate images and sound cue sheet, and it has the context. So when a tool lacks the context, it's important it has enough information to generate your sound cue sheet. As a matter of fact, you may need to upload the image you're trying to describe to the tool so it has good the context. I would hit generate and voila, it has generated the sound cue sheet, and it has broken it down to the layers: beds, foley, design emotion, and punctuation. Now I'm going to prompt it to generate a PDF document of the sound cue sheet, a downloadable PDF document. Now here's the downloaded sound cue sheet. So let's have a look. You have the in and out timings. You have the layers: beds, foley, designed emotion, punctuation. You have the cue. The cue is basically when to put the sound. For instance, if you go down to the foley, heavy breathing, when you hear heavy breathing, that's when you insert that sound. And then the trigger, Alex is distraught. So when Alex, that's a trigger for that cue. And the purpose is an emotional anchor, right? Now the AI prompts or keywords you could use is suggested here. So male, anxious breathing, close mic, realistic, no words. And then you have notes, which you could actually pen down yourself. Here it says do not bury, still on that foley line. And very importantly, the source of the sound. How have you generated the sound? Now, this is very important for copyright reasons, and you have more details of copywriting in the AI FB Creator Pack. So you have the source type, and here's AI or here it's actually original recording, and the source detail here is recorded by a student, the teacher, and a mic is used. However, Everywhere else, you see it's AI generated, and we've stipulated ElevenLabs sound effects and the prompt logged. In other words, we're going to save the prompt we use to generate the sound. And finally, you have the file name in the format we have advised. Okay, so that's the sound cue sheet. Next, let's generate the sound for the 4 layers: beds, foley, designed emotion, and punctuation. We'll be staying in the same thread of ChatGPT we just used to generate the sound cue sheet. If you're using a different tool, stay in that same window and prompt the AI tool to go ahead and generate the sounds. First, I'll respond to this dialogue question ChatGPT asked me. More importantly, I want ChatGPT to generate ElevenLabs optimized sound effects prompts. So sound effects prompts written using sound engineering language. And I want it for this sound cue sheet. It's generated the sounds for each layer and has also given us placement guidance. You'd find this sound prompts, or sound effect prompts, in the download section. In the next lesson, we'll be using each of these prompts to generate the sound effects. We'll be using ElevenLabs as our AI tool.